Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here live for the PW Unlimited Wednesday show, episode number 68. With a little bit of you guys to trickle into the live chat and whatnot. I know when we first go live, an advertisement usually plays, and so that takes up a little bit of your guys' time before you hear everything going, so I don't want to start too early. Just looking at the chat right now. Thank you, Joe Salis Drums. I hope I said that right. Salis. We're gonna talk a number of things tonight. We're gonna talk about a lot of questions about the Cody Rhodes and all his trademarks that he filed. And he clarified that basically what they're for on social media today. We'll talk about WWE moving their headquarters and basically why they're doing it. Talk about all the Kofi Kingston New Day stuff that happened last night and today. Also, we'll be taking your calls, your text messages, answering your questions from the live chat, and some more as well. Let's see who's with us right now. We've got DJ McDaniel. We've got Gabriel Perez, Vashon Noel, Nicholas Armstrong. What's going on? Slam Hub Wrestling. Also, this isn't 100%, but we actually may be doing some sort of a live competition here in the next week, maybe two, maybe Week of Mania, where one or two of you, depending on how it goes, have an opportunity to win some prizes here from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Maybe a t-shirt, maybe a little prize box of goodies. We'll see how it all goes, but we're working on something right now to get some things that will allow us to do something cool in partnership with, actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm working with somebody that's going to partner with us. Going to do some cool things. Maybe do it once, maybe do it more than once. We'll see how it goes. If you guys do want to call in later, not right this second, you can do so. 559-475-8473. 559-475-8473. You can also text your questions in as well. You can text them in, You can text those questions in to 510-906-1341. Again, text your questions into 510-906-1341. So, first thing I want to talk about, because I got some questions about it, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes filed a number of trademarks. The reports state that he filed for, this is like not just today, but over the last month or so, American Nightmare, American Dream, what else was it? He filed for the name Dusty Rhodes, Bunkhouse Stampede. He filed for a lot of different things. And a lot of people thought, well, maybe he's going to do some stuff with AEW that he needs all these names for, that he needs all this stuff. And I'm trying to pull the tweet up right here so I read it correctly. Cody basically clarified why he did it. It's not a big deal or a bad thing or anything, but why he actually, filed the trademarks. So, I got the tweet right here. Let me see if I can, I thought I had the tweet. Just 1 second. Okay, so here it is. Cody tweeted out. So there were all the reports today, saying like Cody Rhodes filed trademarks on Bash at the Beach, Battle Bowl, Bunkhouse Stampede, and more. And Cody tweeted the following: I turned off the Google alerts on trademarks. They're personal, and most aren't intended for AEW. I've filed/claimed over 50 the last few months. I'm just trying to get some of Dad's cattle back. That's the story. So basically, what he's trying to do is he's trying to go and a lot of the things that Dusty Rhodes created, like Bash to the Beach, like Starrcade, which WWE owns the rights to that one, unfortunately, but a lot of the things that Dusty created, Cody is now trying to get back into possession of him and his family. That's all it really is. They're trying to own the rights to the things that maybe one could say is rightfully theirs. I don't know exactly. But for the rumor going around that he also filed a trademark to get his Rhodes name back, that's not true. WWE still owns the trademark on the name Cody Rhodes. I don't think WWE is going to give that up either. And Cody's even said he doesn't need the last name, nor does he really even want the last name Rhodes anymore. He likes just going by the name Cody. So, with that, that's all that story is. Yeah, he filed a bunch of things. Excuse me. He filed a bunch of trademarks for, like he said, over 50 things over the last couple of months. But it's not, all for AEW. Maybe some is, but not all of it. And that's all that really is. There's not much to that, to be honest, according to Cody. So, excuse me. So with that, looking at the text messages here. One says, did you hear Dana Brooke got injured on Monday Night Raw? And a Kofi win the gauntlet. Excuse me. First off, Dana Brooke's injuries, quote unquote, storyline. That's all it is. She was, quote unquote, injured by Ronda Rousey. She wasn't really injured. It's all storyline. It's all storyline, the injury to Dana Brooke from this past week's Monday Night Raw. That's all it really is. Or Oscar Strange in the chat says, didn't Ray file some trademark? Yeah, he filed for the name Prince Mysterio, and we have no clue what that's for. Some are trying to go out there and say, oh, that's going to be the name he gives his son Dominic when he starts wrestling. Nobody knows that. He filed the trademark for the name Prince Mysterio. He's been filing a lot of trademarks recently. I mean, I could pull up the trademark right now and tell you exactly what he filed it for. Let me do that then. Let's see. So, where is trademark database? If we go here and we type in Rey Mysterio under basic words and searches, let's type in Prince Mysterio. So, the Prince Mysterio trademark was filed on the 12th. By one, Oscar Gutierrez, real name of Rey Mysterio, for clothing, toy action figures, and accessories therefore. None of this within the trademark. Well, there's a little bit of it, but most of this is not for a wrestler's name. So there is the whole entertainment services, namely wrestling exhibitions and performances by a professional wrestler / entertainer. But I don't know if this is going to be, quote unquote, the name he gives his son. I know there's been some news sites out there trying to state, oh, that's going to be Dominic's name. He's Rey Mysterio, and Dominic's going to be Prince Mysterio. Nobody knows that. Nobody at all knows that. And Rey filed this back on the 12th, so that was 8 days ago. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that's all that one is. There's no way of saying what it's for. Mysterio files a lot of trademarks as well, usually only for merchandising. So, we'll see. But, 619 in the chat, or in the text messages, says, is that Jimmy getting arrested video real? Yes, 100% real. That is the body cam from the police that basically did the arrest in Detroit last month. So if you guys are unaware, a month ago, Jimmy Uso was arrested in the city of Detroit. Jimmy Uso, well, actually Naomi was the one driving the car. And basically, she got pulled over because she was driving the wrong way on a one-way road. She got pulled over. When the cop approached the vehicle, he can smell the alcohol strongly. He asked her if they'd been drinking. She said, "My husband had. He's very intoxicated." So the report goes, and basically, Jimmy didn't like the way the cop approached the vehicle or something, or approached Naomi. When this happened, he got out of the car, the SUV they were in, took his shirt off, and squared up like he wanted to fight the cops. Now, where the police body cam footage starts, it's actually when they've already got him handcuffed, putting him into the police car. So what you see in the body cam video is Jimmy over with the cops, and then it cuts, and you see the cop approaching Naomi saying, "Hey, how much has he had to drink?" She goes, "A lot. He's very intoxicated." The cop then, it cuts, and the cop's back over with the other police officers, and they say, "So is he gonna blow over? As far as, is he gonna blow past the legal limit in a breathalyzer test?" And the cop says, "Well, his wife says he's very intoxicated." Then you hear Jimmy say something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm just here. I'm popping in and out. I'm here and I'm in and I'm out." He says it like 3 times. "I'm in and I'm out." About being in Detroit. So they put him in the back of the police car, the squad car. Excuse me. They put him in the back of the squad car. There's a camera inside the squad car as well. And all we see is he's got his eyes closed. He's just sitting there, very quiet. Cop goes back over to Naomi. Naomi's now out of the vehicle. And she says, "What do I need to do now? Do I need to go to a bail bondsman? Do I need to get the money to get him out of jail?" And the cop's like, "Everything's going to be okay. He will just spend the night in jail. Just talk to your husband tomorrow. Let him know what he did wasn't really the right thing to do." And that's all we see in the video. The video was posted by NBC4 out of Detroit. They said that they reached out to the WWE for a comment. WWE did not respond to them. When WWE was reached for a comment when TMZ first broke this story a month ago, WWE basically just said, Jonathan Fatu, which is the real name of Jimmy Uso, is responsible for his own actions. They will look into the situation. That was it. Nothing came of it. A couple days later, him and his brother won the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. So that's all that is. But if you do want to see the video, there is a video up on our website, PWUnlimited.net, that was originally posted from NBC4 in Detroit. So with that, again, if anybody does want to call in, 559-475-8473. We'll start taking some calls now, 559-475-8473. Also, you can text in your questions, your concerns, your comments as well. So with all of that, okay, I got to address this. I wasn't going to talk about it because it's nothing, but I've been getting a lot of questions about this. John Ace in the chat says, "Tim, I read this morning that Disney will acquire the Fox network for $71 billion. The deal is set to close on Friday. Do you think this could affect SmackDown as far as edgier content?" Nothing to do with any of it. Actually, the Fox-Disney deal went into effect last night at midnight. Disney now owns basically a lot of Fox. They own none of the TV networks as far as Fox Broadcasting Network. They don't own Fox News. They don't own Fox Sports 1. They don't own Fox Sports 2. They did acquire a lot of the regional Fox Sports networks, the Yes Network. I think Fox still kept FX, I'm pretty sure. But a lot of their properties went over to Disney as far as their movie properties like the X-Men and Daredevil, some of their TV properties like Family Guy and The Simpsons. Yes, Family Guy and The Simpsons are now owned by Disney. But none of this will affect the WWE's deal with Fox because that is a Fox Sports deal. Fox Sports is now under the new Fox Corp Association, or whatever you want to call it. Fox Corp, what do they call themselves? They're just Fox Corp. The new corporation of Fox is called Fox Corp. It is Fox Broadcast, I think it's FX, FS1, FS2, Fox News, and I think there's one other network there as well. But Disney acquired everything else. Blue Sky Media, one of their animation studios, Fox Animation Studio, 20th Century Fox, Fox Searchlight Pictures. So As far as WWE goes with any of this, WWE, it's not going to affect anything. Because that is like I said, a Fox Sports deal, and they did not take the main Fox Sports component. So that's all that is. If you see anybody trying to say, oh, now WWE's been working with Disney because they own Fox, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's take a call. Calling on the air, what's going on?
Hey Tim, what's going on?
Not much. How's it going?
Oh, going pretty good, but I haven't been able to call in since Monday Raw. I want to give my opinion on there, or my question. Do you think, since people were so unhappy with the whole Baron Corbin thing, which I am too, with Kurt Angle selecting Baron Corbin, do you think that is a swerve, and do you think, since they're unhappy, they're going to make it a swerve at WrestleMania and somehow insert John Cena or The Undertaker or something like that in there?
A lot of people want it to be a swerve. Last I heard, going into Raw, that was the plan. Coming out of Raw, still the plan. As of yesterday, Tuesday, still the plan. Could they change it? Yes. Will they change it? I don't think so. Everything that I've heard leads me to believe that they won't change it. They can, but that's been the plan that they've wanted to do for a little while now.
But Angle versus Corbin?
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. That needs to be a storyline that they end. So I could see, since Corbin's not Corbin, Angle is wrestling every week for WrestleMania for his farewell tour. I think that'd be a good match to end like Raw with, like a good Raw match just to end the storyline, and then have him face John Cena at WrestleMania. But hey, that's just my opinion, and that's obviously not what we're getting.
I get where you're coming from, but I think, I haven't been told this, but I think their thinking is, well, this is a storyline that started months ago, and we're going to actually pay off the storyline at WrestleMania. What better way to end this long storyline? That's what they're probably thinking, something along those lines. That's what I've heard people try to say, but it's just, they had an idea and they're going with this. It's been, like I said, it's been the idea for at least the last month.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it's been a very spotty storyline. Sometimes it's in, sometimes it's out, and then all of a sudden, once every 3 weeks,
exactly.
Maybe Corbin mentions something about Angle, and maybe Angle actually gets some mic time and mentions something about Corbin. It's been very spotty, and I don't think the match could be bad. I really don't think Corbin's a bad wrestler. I just think that,
the match is going to be bad. Because if you watched that Kurt Angle match with Chad Gable on Monday, that match was okay. Kurt is hurting really bad, and he needs somebody that can go out there and that can carry him in this match, and that's not Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I can see that. No, I thought that Chad Gable match was good, but yeah, like you said, Kurt Angle just looks really just passed out for a 6.5-minute match. I counted.
I mean, I've heard people state that backstage, he walks around kind of, almost like a Mick Foley the way he's hurting.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to keep it very long. I know you have the callers, but also they keep on saying. Have you noticed this? That they keep on saying that the WrestleMania, they're like, this is in the main event, or I'm in the main event between the Raw Women's Championship and the Universal Championship. So what do you think is going to go on last?
The Raw Women's Championship match.
You think so?
Because I mean, honestly, I think that will go on last. But what they could do is say that the Raw Women's Championship match and the Universal Championship match are or double main events, so they can both be called the main event. But I think the true main event that goes on last will be the women's match, because they put the most time into that. And so, I think the last thing we see before the show goes off the air is Becky Lynch standing with that championship.
I think that Becky's lost a little momentum, and I think it's all geared towards Kofi now. But
Well, I mean, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. I think the reason Becky is cooled off, one main reason, has to do with what is it? With the Fastlane match. When Ronda came in there and basically won the match for her, got Charlotte quote unquote disqualified, everyone was like, well, why should we care about Becky now? It's not like she could have won that match. She was getting dominated by Charlotte anyways. So it's like, why should we care about Becky now? You're still going to have your Becky fans that are always going to be like, Becky's the best. Becky, Becky, Becky. But it's the fact of the way they did that match to get her into this match. No. It was bad. And it really hurt Becky Lynch. So, we'll see. We'll see. I do believe that the women's match, Raw Women's Championship match, will go on last. And we'll see how that all goes. Going back to text messages here. This person says, any idea what Owens, Ali, Andrade will do at Mania? Any chance the U.S. title match still becomes a multi-ladder match? I mean, no. I don't think that match changes. And I think those guys just all go to the Battle Royal, unfortunately. All right. Let's just get into it. I'm getting a lot of questions about it. Not to offend anybody. Not to, what's the word I'm looking for? Call anybody dumb. But this whole New Day thing that started last night after SmackDown with them saying we should quit, it's not them really wanting to quit. It's them in storyline stating, the man's just going to keep holding us down. Should we give up? Should we walk away? And that's what it's, a storyline. Where Xavier and Big E have always been more vocal than Kofi about Vince holding Kofi down. Kofi's been here for 11 years and Kofi hasn't gotten his just dues. But if you saw that video last night that they posted after SmackDown, you see Xavier and you see Big E, and they're both like, you know what? Maybe we should quit. Maybe we should leave the WWE. If this is the best that it's ever going to be, if we're never going to be able to go any bigger than this, let's quit. And then Kofi says, no, we can't quit. That's what Vince wants. That's what Daniel Bryan wants. And if we quit, they get what they want. They won. That's not what's going to happen. So the storyline now is that, quote unquote, the man, or Vince McMahon, is holding Kofi down. And Kofi is not going to give up. Kofi is going to fight and fight and fight over the next 2 weeks to get what he feels is rightfully his, that was taken from him, even though he's done what was asked of him. He told Vince last week, he said, Vince, just tell me what I need to do to earn this match. Vince said, win a gauntlet match against Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Rowan, and you get the match at Mania. What does Vince do? Comes out on SmackDown, and he once again says, oh, now you got to face Daniel Bryan, another opponent. So it's just like, that's the storyline. The new storyline is Kofi's getting screwed. Kofi's getting held down. Xavier and Big E are kind of like, you know, man, it's not going to happen. Let's just give up. And Kofi's the voice of reason saying, no, we can't give up yet. We can't. And then Big E. So Big E posted a video on Twitter today. I've got the transcript. I want to read the exact transcript of what Big E said, because there was a little controversy about this video. Let me pull it up right here. Well, I pulled that up. I'll read another question from the chat. This one states, what do you think will happen with Batista versus Triple H at Mania? Any interruptions, returns, who will win? Triple H is going to win that one. It's going to be Batista's last match. Usually when it's your last match, you lose. Now, in certain cases, like Kurt Angle will probably win, but a lot of times you lose. So, back to the Big E thing. So Big E posted a video today on social media talking about the whole Kofi Kingston thing and being held down. He stated the following, and I quote, "You think of this business being, to some degree, a meritocracy. If you work hard, you show up early, stay late, do all the right things, jump through hoops, you're respectful, you don't break the law, you get good at your craft, you separate yourself from a character and in-ring perspective, you check all the boxes. If you do all those things, that you have a good chance of making it to the top. Now we understand the game. People like us will only go so far. You can climb that mountain, they'll let you climb, but as far as you get to the peak or stay at the peak, it's not a thing. People like us, historically, and moving forward clearly, can only get so far. We've done a lot of cool things here, but clearly, we are never meant to be more than this. For people like us, that's not enough. And it will never be enough. If this is all we will ever be, I don't know if it's worth it." So Big E's basically saying here, like he emphasized last night, if this is the best that it's going to be, if this is the highest they're going to allow us to go in this company, why stick around? What's left for us to do? What's left for me to do? What's left for Xavier to do? What's left for Kofi to do? Basically what he's saying, because, I mean, what's left for them really to do? They've held the tag titles more than anybody. They've hosted WrestleMania. They've done all these different things, except for be mainstream. Well, they're a little mainstream, but really breakout singles stars. Be a world champion, any of them. So that's what that's all about. I know a lot of people are thinking it's real. They're really thinking of quitting. If Kofi doesn't... I saw a lot of people on Twitter, I don't know why, stating if Kofi doesn't win at Mania, the New Day's going to quit. They're going to really leave the WWE. First off, you can't just quit. If your contract's not up, you must request a release and hope that release gets agreed upon. A lot of times it doesn't. So they can't really just up and quit anyways. It's a storyline of them saying, let's give up. They're not going to push us any farther than we're at now. So why even try? And Kofi's going to be that voice of reason. Nah, man, we can't give up. We can't let them win. We got to fight and fight and fight for what we believe in. It's basically the Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 20 storyline, but they're able to add race into it. So with that, let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Hello?
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
There you go. Could barely hear you at first. What's going on?
I just want to say I'm a big fan of your podcast,
Thank you.
and I have a big question.
Okay.
So, how long do you think Cody will be out of action? Because right now he has an injury.
Who?
Cody.
Oh, Cody. Cody should be cleared and ready to go by Double or Nothing. Plan right now is for Cody to wrestle at Double or Nothing.
So, when do you think his opponent will be?
You know, I was thinking it could have been... I think it's going to be one of two people. I think it's... A lot of people now, based off of last week's Being the Elite, think it could be MJF. But I don't think that's the case because of things we've seen previously. I think his opponent could possibly be Marty Scurll.
Do you think, like, if Marty Scurll leaves Ring of Honor, do you think he'll bring, like, Villain Enterprises?
No, he can't bring Villain Enterprises because they just signed with the company late last year. They're not going to be able to actually leave Ring of Honor. But as far as I know, from what I've heard, Marty's contract is up end of April, early May. I think end of April. And he can leave, and Ring of Honor typically doesn't do 90-day no-compete clauses. So as soon as his contract's up, he can go straight to AEW.
Okay, do you think, like, he'll be a heel and turn against the Elite, like, since they left him?
Too hard to say. Way too hard to say right now because we don't know how they want to use him. I would assume they just put him into the Elite, but they could use him as a heel. They could put him against Cody as maybe the Cody's the heel, because we saw the thing on Being the Elite about a month ago where Cody's all buddy-buddy with MJF, and he took a picture of MJF and put it on top of a picture of Marty. So maybe Marty's going to start feeling jealous and say, hey, you're liking this kid more than me. But then what we saw this past week on Being the Elite, Cody now knows that MJF's a dickwad, and maybe he's going to challenge. I don't know. Because the interesting thing, I want to say thank you for the call. The interesting thing with all of this is Cody knows who he wants as his opponent, but he can't show it. There was a scene for Being the Elite like a month ago where he's showing all these different graphics, these graphic cards to Brandy. And he's got one of him and then his opponent, but his opponent's blurred out. And Brandy keeps going, is this really the route we're going to go? Is this your opponent? Is this what we're really going to do? Is this who you're really going to face at Double or Nothing? So they've had a plan in place. And because of that scene, it doesn't lead me to believe that it could be MJF. But it does lead me to believe that it can be Marty Scurll. So I could be wrong. They could change their minds, or maybe it wasn't that at all. But I think it could be Marty Scurll versus Cody at Double or Nothing. Text messages here. Who do you think will challenge Asuka at Mania? Excuse me. If it was up to me, I'd have Naomi win that Fatal 4-Way next week. So clarification from last night, if you didn't hear, the news broke as we were live with our SmackDown review, but what they're doing next week on SmackDown is a Fatal 4-Way match. Naomi, Carmella, Mandy, and Sonya. The winner will then move on to WrestleMania and challenge Asuka in a singles match for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And if it was me, I would have Naomi win it, because that would it would, of the four, give Asuka the best possible match. Now, I know they want to push Mandy really hard, but if you just want to put on a decent to good match, you put Asuka and Naomi, and I think those two athletically can go out there and do pretty good. Oscar in the chat says Nikki Cross should face Asuka. They're not going that route. She'll probably be in the what's it called? The Battle Royal. RGGH says Cody needs to be AEW World Champ. I think that's going to go to either Pac or why can't I think of his name? Adam Page, Hangman. So just looking at, I got another text message here. This person says thoughts on Kaylee Ray and between NXT and NXT UK, which has the best women's talent in your opinion? Regular NXT right now. They both got good women, like good women talent. But I think, it's tough. I think I'm gonna go regular NXT on that one. Who has the better women's roster? Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yes, hi there. I just want to know, what has Braun Strowman done that he went from the main event to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? What's going on there?
I don't think he specifically did anything wrong. I think it's more of if you saw last year's WrestleMania, Vince just wants to use him as the WrestleMania comedy guy.
But from what I've heard, Vince loves monsters. He's a perfect monster. He should be nowhere near the Andre the Giant Battle. He should be somewhere. He should be for the Universal. I know it's stacked right now. I completely understand it's stacked. The card's stacked, but he should be nowhere near the Battle Royal. Just make him look like a joke.
I get your frustration, but I mean, Vince already pushed him towards the Universal title, and he fed him to Brock Lesnar, so Lesnar can say that I beat a monster. And so now what do you do with him? You put him in the Battle Royal. You have him do the comedy stuff. Last year he did the comedy stuff with Nicholas in the bar. This year he's doing the comedy stuff with the SNL guys in the Battle Royal. I don't know how it's going to go. I would assume he wins that Battle Royal, or the SNL guys screw him.
I have a feeling he's not going to win that, sadly, and someone's going to screw him, just like you said. Someone's going to screw him somehow.
I think the SNL guys will come out and distract him, and then And then depending on where we're at in the Battle Royal, how many guys are still in, I think maybe like a bunch of guys team up and just dump them out at one time. We'll see how it goes. I don't know exactly. I think, it's going to be on the pre-show most likely, the men's Battle Royal, like it was last year. And that's just all it is. If you remember last year, he did the stuff with Nicholas. He's just the comedy guy because he's actually pretty good at it.
That was because I love Braun Strowman. He's a monster. I grew up watching monsters in the WWE, but just seeing him how he's falling, he keeps falling and falling each week. It's just not right.
Right, but here's the other thing too. So right now, the WWE Universal Champion is a heel. So you need a babyface for him to go up against at WrestleMania, hence Seth Rollins. After WrestleMania, if Seth Rollins wins that title, he's going to need a heel to go up against. So you can build Braun Strowman up as a big-time monster heel and have him challenge Seth Rollins for the Universal title after WrestleMania, maybe like in the summertime or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just they need something for him to do right now. He's good with the comedy stuff. He's funny. He knows how to get it over. So why not do it if they have no other actual big plans for him? I mean, it'd be better than just seeing him in like a random 3-way or fatal 4-way for the IC title where he's not going to win and something's just going to screwy happen.
Yeah. And I have one more question. When do you think Bray Wyatt will come back?
I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. That's something we can't answer. Nobody knows. I've asked around, and nobody knows what's going on with Bray. Like, nobody. He's not hurt. Like, he was dealing with some sort of a slight injury, but he's been cleared. He's good to go. There's nothing that's holding him back. So, as far as Bray Wyatt and when's he going to return, no one knows that. Looking at the chat here. Chris McNutt, $2 super chat donation. Thank you for that. Says, who do you think will win at TakeOver, Adam or Johnny? That's a tough one. I could see it going either way for two different reasons. If they're not worried about calling Johnny Gargano up to the main roster, then that title needs to go on Johnny Gargano. Put the title on Johnny G. Now, if the plan is to call Johnny Gargano up full-time to the main roster, then put the title on Adam Cole. Either way, it's a win-win. Either guy as the NXT champion is a win. So I don't care which way they go, to be honest. Like, if I had to, if someone put a gun to my head and said, it's got to be one or the other, I'll say Gargano. I really like Adam Cole, but if I had to pick one, I'll say Gargano. But it really all depends on, is Johnny coming to the main roster full-time after Mania, or is he staying in NXT? When it was going to be Gargano versus Ciampa, Gargano would have won the title and Ciampa would have came to the main roster. But now things have kind of changed with Ciampa out with his neck injury. So we'll see how that one plays out in 2 weeks. Looking at the chat here. This question says, if they... Booker T. Okay, so this person's asking if AEW offered Booker T a bunch of money to come work for them, would he? No. Booker T, apparently... he's got a contract to work with WWE for like another 10 years to be an ambassador and do other slight roles with the company. So Booker can't go nowhere. He's locked into WWE for a decade. Looking at the text messages here. This is a funny one. It says, have you ever been noticed in public? I actually have. A couple times. I mean, there was one time Nick was here. We went to the mall, and I got recognized, and he was like, because he was talking to this guy about something. I can't remember exactly what it was, and then the guy recognized me. It was pretty funny. It's happened a couple of times. This person says, what do you think Fandango will do once he returns? Probably just get teamed back up with Tyler Breeze. I would like to see Fandango go back to NXT. Get a little rundown there. Revitalize his career, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Let's take a call, and then we'll talk some more news. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Good, Tim. How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I got a question. I want your opinion on this. In your opinion, how to say this and how to get this? Which event will have the better wrestling card? I'm talking about G1 Supercard, and I'm talking about WrestleMania. Which of the two think will have the better cards
I mean,
and better matches, in your opinion?
from a match wrestling standpoint,
Yes, like wrestling standpoint.
it'll be G1 Supercard because they're gonna have the matches where they're gonna put, unlike WWE, they're gonna have matches where they're gonna try and put the best opponents against the best opponents. Within WWE, their whole thing is, well, we don't care if these two guys work well together. That's the story we're going with. So I think from a wrestling standpoint, I think they're gonna put the best matches on G1 Supercard, but at the same time, can't forget about TakeOver on that Friday as well. That could have some really good matches as well.
That weekend is a wrestling fan's dream.
Oh, I mean, you got Impact, which has actually got some good matches on. I think it's Thursday. MLW's got a show on Thursday. You've got NXT TakeOver on Friday, G1 Supercard on Saturday, WrestleMania on Sunday, and then Raw and SmackDown.
It's a wrestling fan's dream.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be honest, Tim. How are you gonna watch all that? Don't keep up with it.
Well, I mean, luckily all the major shows is just one a day. Like I said, the Impact shows Thursday, TakeOver Friday, Saturday. So luckily all the major stuff that I'm gonna actually do live reviews for is one a day. So I think with the Impact and the MLW show, I think I have to look it back up. But I think the live MLW show is the Thursday show, so we may do a Impact MLW review together in one. I'm still looking into that because I was told that it is the Thursday, but then someone else said that it might be the Friday MLW show's the live show. So,
Okay. And my last thing is for TakeOver, G1 Supercard, WrestleMania. Out of those three, what matches are you looking forward to? I'm looking for who Jay White fights, because if it's him and Okada, it's going to be a good match.
I think as of right now, I'm probably excited to see Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole for sure. I think that match is going to be really, really good. I also think, probably my most anticipated show of the weekend is TakeOver, because I'm also excited to see Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle. Spoiler alert. They're going for the North American title.
I know.
For everybody in the chat. But yeah, I think those are my two most anticipated matches right now. And then ultimately to see if they actually pull the trigger on Kofi.
We'll see, man. Just last bit, out of that week, what you think would be, who's going to steal the show? Out of those three events, who has the best potential?
That's a tough
TakeOver,
one.
obvious. TakeOver, honestly, but don't sleep on G1 Supercard.
Oh, no, not at all. Because we've got some really good matches on that show as well. I mean, I think it's going to be Jay White and Okada, like you had said. And then the ladder match, that's an interesting one, because usually the big Ring of Honor ladder matches are tag team matches. So this one being a triple threat, it's different than what we've seen in Ring of Honor recently. And, it's tough to predict what could be the best show, because it's going to be a toss-up between either TakeOver or G1 Supercard.
I would agree. Oh, thanks for taking my call, Tim.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call and have a great night. If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said match of the weekend is probably going to be Gargano Ciampa. But now that Ciampa's out with his injury, the Ciampa had to have neck surgery. Now it's a toss-up. I think Gargano Cole can be almost as good, but that dynamic of a Johnny Gargano Ciampa match, it's just always great. And so Gabriel Perez says, who answers Bully Ray's open challenge? I don't know, but I just have a weird feeling it's probably going to be Flip Gordon. Because if you think about it, he said, it's just eating you inside that you can't beat me. And you can't beat me. And they did that match where Bully beat Flip. Best in the world, I think it was. And so it's like, you can't beat me. So it's not going to be CM Punk. It was his clever way of trying to get people talking. And he did it right. But just looking at the text messages, person says, can you give a few predictions for the Superstar Shakeup? No, because I tried to give predictions last year. Everyone tries to give predictions, and they change things up. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, AJ was supposed to come to Raw. Day of the Superstar Shakeup, they said, never mind, AJ staying on SmackDown, we're bringing over Bray Wyatt. And they change their mind like that all the time. There was a couple of changes last year that were supposed to happen and never happened. But speaking of AJ Styles re-signed with the WWE. We don't know exactly when he signed his new contract, but AJ Styles took to Twitter to announce the good news. AJ Styles posted a photo of his new puppy. And he nonchalantly slid in there, oh, hey, and by the way, I've signed a new contract with WWE. It's clever the way he did it. But AJ Styles has signed, and unfortunately his buddies Gallows and Anderson have refused to sign new contracts with WWE, and because of that, they've been benched. According to Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful.com, he states that basically he was told that with the little amount that they're used, they don't want to stick around. And because they don't want to re-sign because they've been quote-unquote benched, WWE's now just extra benching them. They're not even told to come to house shows. They were apparently told, we'll use you at TV, we'll need you to be at TV, and we need you to be at pay-per-views. Don't worry about coming to house shows. And if you look at Carl Anderson's Instagram, he's always got Insta stories on the weekend, hanging, chilling with the kids. He actually just bought a new house in Florida. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. Their contracts expire in September, and all things do look to them leaving. As far as Nakamura goes, I know Nakamura's contract is coming up here very shortly as well, and I believe he stays. Everything that I've heard looks like he's going to stay. He likes having his family in America. They really enjoy being in Florida, and I think he stays in the WWE. It's like a security thing for him. Let's take another call here. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good, yourself?
I'm doing really good. All right, I got two questions. One, what's going to be the best match at WrestleMania?
At WrestleMania itself or WrestleMania weekend?
WrestleMania itself.
Ooh, probably, best overall match, probably Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. I think storyline-wise, probably be D-Bry versus Kofi. I would say also maybe Brock Seth. Just
it can be a good match. It can be a good match, but I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket as being the best match.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that either. But the post-match celebration is gonna be insane. But I don't think it's gonna rival Kofi's Seth beating Brock.
Oh, right.
Unless they pull a WrestleMania 34, I'm going to chuck every single chair that I have in my house at that TV.
Okay.
Second question. How long do you think the Undisputed Era is going to stay in NXT?
I've been saying that you should call him up after SummerSlam. This year's SummerSlam will be their 2-year anniversary in NXT. So I think after SummerSlam would be the perfect time to call them to the main roster. Stick them on SmackDown.
Do you think Adam's going to win the NXT Championship before then?
There's a very good possibility, and maybe he wins the title here at TakeOver. There's supposed to be a standalone takeover. Now, this hasn't been confirmed by WWE, but there's rumored to be a standalone takeover, not in conjunction with a main event, a main roster pay-per-view. So maybe he drops it at that pay-per-view. Maybe he holds it all the way to SummerSlam weekend and drops it at that takeover. But it all really depends on if they want Johnny Gargano to come to the main roster full-time, like I said earlier, or if they want Johnny to stay in NXT. If Johnny's staying in NXT, he's got to win the title.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, man. Thank you for the stream and all that stuff, and have a good night.
All right, thanks for the call, and have a great night. I mean, when you look at it, if Ciampa didn't get hurt, Gargano would be champion coming out of TakeOver. But now that Gargano's hurt, it changes everything. Because Gargano was going to come to the main roster full time with Black and Ricochet. And if they want 3, then you gotta put Johnny there. We'll take a couple more calls here. If you do want to call in, 559-475-8473. Text messages to 510-906-1341. Go and look at the text messages. That's a troll text message. This person says, what do you think is going to happen on Raw and SmackDown in the next couple of weeks? I mean, we get the rest of the Mania card. Not much big stuff is probably going to happen. We'll get the confirmation of McIntyre Reigns. We'll finally figure out how Kofi gets into the WWE title match. And then maybe they add 1 or 2 more matches. We got to get SmackDown tag title match. We've got the women's tag title match, which is most likely going to be a fatal 4-way. We've got to get the Raw tag team title match, which could be a triple threat. So not much more real big things are expected. No more surprises really. What we know is probably what's going to happen, and that's basically how it usually goes with a couple weeks left leading into WrestleMania. So I don't think any more big surprises will be taking place, but caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good. I'm a huge fan, man. I love what you're doing with the show, so
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing, man. It's doing great, really good. So here's a question for you. In your own opinion, who do you think is going to grace the next 2K cover?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's hard because we've seen it be current superstars. We've seen it be legends. If I just had to pick somebody, so the last 2 were current superstars, Seth and AJ. I'm thinking they haven't put a female on the cover yet, so maybe depending on how her run goes post-Mania, maybe we see Becky on the cover.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, because I remember when...
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Oh, if she can stay hot, because they've cooled her down a lot in the last 3 weeks.
That's true, because I remember when they put Seth Rollins and then AJ Styles, they were hot. I mean, red hot at that time. And if they keep Becky at that same level, then yeah, I think she can make history again by bracing the next cover. Yeah. So, cool, that's awesome. And one more question.
Go for it.
I remember a while back ago that in due time they may think about moving Michael Cole out of the announcement, the commentary team.
Uh-huh.
So who do you think is going to be the next quote unquote voice of WWE?
I mean, ultimately, it's obvious they just slide Tom Phillips into that role. Just like what they did with Michael Cole. Michael Cole was the voice of SmackDown. When JR was no longer needed as the voice, they slid Michael Cole from SmackDown over there to Raw. Then they're doing the same thing with Tom Phillips. He's over there, the voice of SmackDown. And when Michael Cole's officially done as far as full-time commentary, they slide him right over.
That's a good point. I always think, I mean, I've always liked Corey Graves' commentary because I think Corey Graves has just been on point.
No.
And he's one of those commentators that can go either way. I mean, he likes baby faces, he likes heels, even though he kind of plays like a heel commentator. But he just does it. He beats to his own drum, you know?
But here's the thing. The quote-unquote voice is what they would call a play-by-play guy, like a Jim Ross, like a Michael Cole, like a Tom Phillips. Corey Graves is what they call color commentary. He's there for the entertainment portion, like Mick Foley was when he was doing the stuff on SmackDown, like we see with Booker T, like we saw with Jerry the King Lawler. He's there to be the character, and then the Tom Phillips and Michael Cole, the JR, they're supposed to be the legit, announcer, sportscaster.
That's true. You make a great point. Well, Tim, I thank you very much for taking my questions, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. The show is great.
All right, thank you, and have a great night.
You too, man.
All right. So another thing I didn't think I'd have to address, but I keep seeing it in the chat. A lot of people keep asking, is Brock going to SmackDown? So here's what happened. Fox is getting SmackDown in the fall. Fox Sports is already advertising SmackDown coming in October. NASCAR hit their fifth race this week. Every week since the Daytona 500, they've advertised SmackDown coming. For a couple weeks, they didn't really name names. They just said SmackDown Live is coming. They've been showing footage from the Royal Rumble. They showed footage first couple of weeks of Hideo Itami putting the boots to Buddy Murphy in the corner at Royal Rumble. And this last week, they actually aired it's not even a commercial, it's a promo. They did an ad read, and they showed Brock Lesnar and the girl doing the deal. She literally stated, WWE SmackDown Live is coming to Fox this October on Friday nights. Getting the likes. WWE has the likes of Brock Lesnar and Charlotte Flair. Can I get a whoop? And then they all kind of went, woo, woo. She said, can I get a whoop? The girl didn't even know what she was talking about. All that was, I know everybody and their mama tried to report Brock's going to SmackDown. Fox said it. Fox leaked it. And all those people that were doing that are damn lies and damn clickbaiters. No offense, but that's not what it was. All it was Fox putting out two recognizable names. Brock Lesnar and not quite Charlotte Flair, but the Flair name. Especially to NASCAR fans, because Ric Flair has done things with NASCAR in the past and NASCAR on Fox. Brock Lesnar's name is significant with Fox Sports fans because of UFC. UFC, which was on Fox Sports for so many years, they featured Brock Lesnar. We've also seen Brock Lesnar show up at NASCAR races once or twice with his buddy Kevin Harvick. So that's why they said Brock and Charlotte, because those names possibly resonate with the Fox Sports fans and the NASCAR fans. It was not in any way Fox saying, oh yeah, if you turn on SmackDown Live in October, you will see Brock Lesnar on that show. That was not it at all. And for everybody that started running the ads stating that, oh my God, Brock Lesnar, he's coming to SmackDown. Fox said it. Fox let us know. It wasn't that at all. And I saw so many websites write it. So many different YouTube channels try to talk about it and report it. And it's literally nothing to talk about and nothing to report. Brock Lesnar is not coming at all. He's not moving over to SmackDown. Plain and simple, that's all it is. With that, looking at the text messages, this person says, do you think they'll put Dolph Ziggler in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania? Maybe. I mean, why not? Have a cool little surprise there. All of a sudden, hey, look, it's Dolph. We weren't expecting him. Next question here. Person says, what's the Revival doing at WrestleMania? I believe it's going to be a triple threat between the Revival, Black and Ricochet, and Gable and Rude for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Person in the chat says, do you think ROH is going to do another... Excuse me. another big show in 2019, 2020 after G1 Supercard. I mean, they've got their biggest show of the year typically is Final Battle, which is their last show of the year. They do it the right way. Their big show is typically their last show of the year, and then in January they start it all over. So I think maybe they try to make Final Battle this year bigger than it's ever been. But as far as this year goes, G1 Supercard is probably going to be their biggest show of the year. This person in the text message says, Tim, did you beat Spider-Man on PS4 yet? Oh, heck yeah. I beat that game in 3-4 days. And then I've kept playing. Played through the DLC, all of it. That's my probably all that or Uncharted 4. Well, Spider-Man on PS4 is probably my all-time favorite game. And then second is a tie between God of War and Uncharted 4. This person says, do you think the Forgotten Sons should be on NXT TakeOver? No. This person says, what happened to AOP? Okay. One of them's injured. I just forget if it's Aka or if it's Razor. I think it's Razor who's the one that's injured. But one of them is out with, I think it's I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. If it's a shoulder injury. But I know one's out with an injury, and that's what it is. Usually when a tag team guy goes down, his other tag team partner off TV as well. This person says, what's the Usos doing at WrestleMania? I assume defending their titles in a multi-team match. BPA says, do you think Fox wants John Cena exclusive to SmackDown? Probably not. I mean, John Cena's not a full-time guy anyways, so it doesn't really matter. He's not going to be moving the ratings needle because people know that if John Cena comes back, it's for like a week or two. This is a good question. It's something we don't know yet. Person in the text message says, with SmackDown moving to Fox, how will WWE book WrestleMania weekend with SmackDown airing on Fridays since TakeOver is on the same day? Now here's the thing. WWE will never admit this, but I've heard that the reason they moved to TakeOver to Friday is so it wasn't going head-to-head with G1 Supercard. If I was booking WrestleMania weekend next year in Tampa, what I would do is I would have the Hall of Fame ceremony on Thursday. I would have SmackDown on Friday, TakeOver on Saturday, Mania on Sunday, and then Raw on Monday. That's how I would book it. Now, maybe they move Hall of Fame to Tuesday. Maybe they cut the Hall of Fame induction ceremony out altogether. But that's how I would do it. I'd basically put TakeOver back on Saturday, and I would move Hall of Fame to Thursday. Yeah, and that's basically all we've got tonight, guys. No more text messages coming in. No more calls coming in. So with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who was here that joined us in the live chat. I want to also say thank you to everybody who watched later here on YouTube.com or listened over on iTunes. We will be live again Monday night for sure. Maybe doing a gaming stream this weekend if my schedule is cleared up or not. We'll keep an eye out on that. I'll let you guys know on Twitter and in the community tab if we will be doing a gaming stream. Probably going to do Jackbox so you guys can play along as well. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. You can hit that notification bell right here on YouTube to get notifications every time we post a new video or go live. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, and check out our new website, or not a new website, our old website. Check out our website, PWUnlimited.net. Have a good night, guys.